All right, welcome back to Stovepipe TV. I'm Adam.
I'm Luke.
So today we've noticed that you guys have taken a liking to this wannabe Mark 18. Um, so this is something that I built. We're going to give it a full overview, maybe do a little bit of shooting today, kind of show you the many, what's the word I'm looking for? Many transformations it's had over its life.
Because this thing started out nothing like this. It was pretty sad.
Yeah, we're not. Well, I guess we're gonna have to talk about it today. Yeah. So I'm gonna try, and as we're talking, I'm gonna try and find some of these pictures, because back when this thing was built, we were not doing YouTube, and basically we were just sending memes back and forth in Snapchat, and that was about it. So if you see any weird angled pictures or any goofy pictures, sorry about that, but that's why. So anyway, what this thing is, this is a PSA lower. This was purchased as a strip lower, with just a PSA builder's kit, and then it had a buffer tube, and that was it. I believe this is an Anderson upper. There's no markings or anything on it, and I bought it secondhand, so I have no idea.
This was a blim lower too, wasn't it?
No, this was not. This one was not a blim lower. The reason this one had so much receiver wobble is because I didn't know of vice blocks when I was building this thing. So basically chucked it up in the vise, chucked the lower in the vise, and just went to town on this crusty barrel nut. And that's the main reason there's so much slop in this receiver. Yeah. Now the Brownell's AccuWedge definitely helped. Didn't make it perfect though.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, I mean, I am married to this lower receiver now, so like, it is what it is, you know. But it for the longest time I had a mil spec trigger, the A2 grip, and a SBA 3 brace, right?
An A3.
Yeah, so I had an A3 brace, and the upper actually was from a completely different build, different gun. I just had an upper, a bolt carrier, a charger handle, and that was it. And I remember seeing this upper in like the boxes of gun parts, and I was like, oh, we probably do something with that. And I was like, oh, I want a quad rail. That's the main thing I wanted, was a quad rail. So we'll start looking at quad rails, looking at 10-inch quad rails, 8 or 9, 9.5s. And every time I was looking at these quad rails, I would just see Mark 18, Mark 18, Mark 18. I'm like, well, what's a Mark 18? We'll look it up. And that's like a, $2,000-$3,000 Form Ford rifle, or a Form 4 SBR that you would buy from Daniel Defense. And I'm like, I could build something like that. I don't need all that. So that's where this inspiration came from. So like I said, I had the upper, and that upper also had I had a 7.5-inch 5.56 barrel I already had. So we'll put that barrel on here, and then we'll do a 10-inch handguard. Well, this is where, as you remember, it gets really interesting, because I decided to go for the cheapest quad rail that I could find, which was a Monstrum Tactical at the time, 10.5. And brother, that thing was bad.
It was.
I think you had said something about the way, and I've got some pictures that I'll be able to drop in as I'm talking, so maybe they can see also what I'm talking about, that barrel nut.
Yeah, it's.
So this is a Midwest Industries handguard on here now, but this barrel nut is actually small enough to where you don't have to time the barrel nut correctly. You can just torque it to what it needs to be and then run your gas block in. But that Monstrum Tactical, the Monstrum, it's not even Monstrum Tactical, it's just Monstrum.
Yeah, I mean, it came from Monstrum.
But yeah.
No idea if they OEM'd it at all.
No, well, it has Made in China stickers all over the side of it. And that rail has, normally like it has like a T and then whatever slot it is, and then L and R and B or whatever on the bottom. That one has T on all four sides. So, but that, like I said, that barrel nut it had to have been aluminum or like something extremely cheap, because as I was torquing the barrel nut down, and they give you plus or minus the torque spec to get your timing aligned, and as I was trying to get the timing aligned, I kept ripping the pieces of the barrel nut off, like they were blowing chunks off.
It was like die cast. Like.
So it was so bad. And then that handguard was also a lot bulkier than this one. But like I said, it was a 10-inch Monstrum handguard that had a 7.5 barrel, and then I had a CAC Industries 6-inch flash can. Still have that flash can, just so that the barrel wasn't underneath the handguard. And I got the flash can for like $20.
Yeah.
So like I said, it was just kind of a hodgepodge of pieces and parts that were coming together. And so that was when it was in its pistol configuration. It is now a legal SBR, registered, the whole 9 yards. But so I backtrack. That is when the pistol braces were about to be banned. That was because they were banned or whatever that whole thing was going on. That was in like March of last year, right?
Yeah, February-ish, March.
So this was have been about November, December, or roughly when it was done. And I was like, and then we had painted it. We painted it with all that stuff on it.
Yep.
And then that's when the braces were going to get banned. And so I was like, all right, well, let's make this thing a rifle now. So I bought a Ballistic Advantage 10.5 barrel, and I had the flash can that I was going to pin and weld to make it a full 16 inches. Now, hindsight, that probably wouldn't have been considered a rifle, because even though the flash can says it's 6 inches, when you thread it on, you might lose half an inch or whatever. I see our airplane buddy's out today.
Yeah, he cuts flips just about every weekend.
That guy's tough. So anyway, that was the whole thing with, was going to make it a rifle. Well, I put the barrel in it, and it would not cycle. No matter what I would do, it would not cycle. Change the gas plug, change the gas tube, change a bolt carrier, nothing, it would not cycle. So I basically took this thing apart, and it sat in parts for almost that whole summer. Like
it was about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, it was in parts for a long time. And pistol braces now get...
Yeah, nationwide injunction was issued, and they were...
So then I was
everything was all
yeah,
fine and dandy.
So then I was like, all right, well, it can be a pistol again. So we're just going to piece it back together, make it back into a pistol, put the 7.5 barrel back in it, ran like a dream.
Yeah.
Did not have a single issue out of it at all. Now, somewhere in between it going from a pistol to a rifle, that's when this fake D-ball was purchased. This is I believe this was like a Somo Gear or Somo Gear clone. It's a cheap Chinese PEC that has unregistered.
Yeah, definitely.
IR and green laser in it. So it was also supposed to have an IR illuminator. I purchased it with an IR illuminator, but they sent it with a white light. So whatever. This was not the original pressure switch that was on it. The problem with this PEC is it takes a 3.5 millimeter jack instead of a 2.5. So trying to find dual switches for it is next to impossible. So that's why we have a fake Unity. I think it's like
the Axon.
Yeah. It's a Chinese one. And then this is just an Amazon Light that, surprisingly, there it goes. It's loose every time we shoot. It's loose. It needs some Loctite, but hey. So after we got it back together as a pistol, I had bought this stock in this B5 grip for when it was to be a rifle. So then I was like, well, I already got all the stuff to make it a rifle. Let's just SBR it and make it a rifle. And that's where we are today. B5 furniture, still had the Monstrum hand rail on it. And what's even funny about that is I shredded the barrel nut trying to changing the barrel so many times that I ended up buying another Monstrum rail just for the barrel nut. And those rails are like $60. If I would have just cried once, bought once, cried once, and got the Midwest Industries, and I would have been fine. But you live and learn.
Well, I mean, you also started this out as being a cheap Mk18 clone, which, I mean, after everything you put into it, you're probably encroaching pretty close to
to an actual Mk18.
$2,000.
Yeah, after buying everything 2 and 3, 4 times, switching things around. Yeah, you're not wrong. The EOTech came back when it was a pistol.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. It came when it was a pistol. That's a XPS 3-0, I think, or 3-. I don't know.
3-0, 3-0.
It's got the buttons on the back, and it was tan. Originally, it was tan.
And it's on the.
It's on a.
The
not
riser,
a. Yeah, that is actually a Monstrum riser.
That's insane.
But this is a Monstrum.
Fake M-buses?
Yeah, that's a fake M-bus. And the reason there's no front M-bus is because this PEC actually has a built-in front sight. And what's really hilarious that I don't think a lot of people know is that you can't lower third co-witness this, the optics up too high. So they're really just there for looks. That's, that's the greatest thing about it. Back to this Midwest Industries rail. This rail I purchased not too long ago. It's been,
I mean, probably 4 months ago.
4 months ago or so, beginning of the year. This actually has a Bear Creek Arsenal 10.5 barrel in it. As it sits right now. That was a barrel that got replaced out of another project, and I was like, you know what, it's going in here. And I thought that with the 10.5 barrel and this muzzle brake, and then with this 10-inch handguard, there would have been enough room to clear the suppressor that's eventually going on this thing. And that is not the case. The suppressor definitely bottoms out on the handguard. So there's now a pretty big spacer behind it. I say big, it's probably
It's average.
8. It's pretty big to me.
I mean,
but it's about 1/8 of an inch or so to get the muzzle brake out so the suppressor will screw on.
Yeah.
Oh, the obvious shift that everybody hates. There's like nobody that likes this thing. And I've thought many times, I was like, I'm going to change it. I've got the BCM Gunfighter. I think that's what it is, the angled at home or the vertical, whatever. I was like, I could throw that on there. And I was like, nah, we're gonna keep the shift. The shift is gonna stay.
It's so goofy.
Just for that reason.
It is surprisingly comfortable.
I mean, it's. I wish I would have got the stubby. I think the stubby would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, it probably would have been.
But I think internally everything is the same except for when I got a wild hair up my ass to basically play musical chairs with all my guns and swap parts around. And so now this thing has a binary trigger that was out of another gun, and it's on a lot heavier springs because that was the only way I could get it to run.
Yeah, just talk about how much of a pain in the ass it was to change the binary.
Oh, yeah, good point. So a binary trigger, very easy to install. Not easy to pull it out and put it back in another gun because there's all these little springs and bars and there's like a million pieces inside this little trigger mechanism that normally when you buy the binary from Franklin Armory,
it's all held together with like roll pins.
Yeah, it's got its
just push out.
slave pins, I think, or whatever they're called. But it's all, and you put it in and push it out, and it's good to go. But not when you're doing it this way. This was not fun.
I'm sure we probably could have done it a much easier way, but
well, if I would have had those pins still, it would have been no problem.
There wasn't really much forethought. It was kind of just a It was like just a random thought one night to switch them over. All right, where were we?
So you gotta love this wonderful summer sun. It is, the air is so thick out here today, you probably could scoop it in a bucket.
Yeah.
But anyway, so back to before our camera shut off because it got too hot. Franklin Armory binary, I think we blabbered about that enough. It's just fun. I mean, now in semi, it's
still a pretty solid trigger. Like it's
but I think the only other thing is the charger handle. It's just a Strike Industries extended latch.
Yeah, tell them whenever you cleaned it yesterday.
So I'm very bad about gun maintenance. I will admit that. This thing went, I would say, close to 400 or 500 rounds, and I'd say almost 100 of those were suppressed. And this charging handle is gold.
It's like it's
bronze FTE-ish, whatever. But I noticed last time we took it out here, it wasn't shooting right. I could tell it was really sluggish and dirty. So I went home before we came out here today and cleaned it. And this charging handle from about right here all the way back was completely black and caked with carbon. I've never seen that happen to a charging handle. That was quite impressive, I must say. But we got it clean. She's running good. This thing's also got a Superlative Arms adjustable gas block. And I like this gas block, but I don't. The only reason is because of the tool and the way that because think about it, if you had a 16-inch barrel with a carbine linked gas system and then had a 15-inch handguard on top of it, you wouldn't be able to get to that. You'd have to pull the handguard off to adjust it. And even with this 10.5, and I believe this is a mid-length gas system, it's still extremely difficult to get in there. But other than that, I mean, that's the story of this wannabe Mark 18. I would not trust my life to this gun. I've had so many malfunctions and troubles out of this thing. This is a safe queen. This is something that I bring out here to have fun with.
Yeah, range toys are okay to have. You don't have to be.
That's a whole nother video.
Yeah, I know I preach on that all the time just because people get too pressed about what you own because they're like, oh, would you can't trust your life to it. You wouldn't go to war with that. No fucking shit.
No. This is definitely something that
it's just fun to shoot.
Yeah, that's it.
It looks good. At least our opinion.
I think this thing looks great.
I mean, with the views that we've seen on it, I think
other
most people
agree.
think.
Yeah. So I said to wrap this video up. Let's do some Mozambiques or some build drills or something. It'd be fun to do. All right. So I also forgot to mention this thing's got an Ed Sherman sling on it and Amazon sling holder that I do not recommend anybody ever buy again. This thing is the absolute worst. But what do you say? First we do
Mozambique.
We do Mozambique. That'd be cool. So
we do not have a shot timer, so I am the shot timer today.
Well, listen, we're just out here. We're trying to get better. You know, we're doing good. So Mozambique is going to be 2 in the center square and 1 up in the rectangle on the head, and that would be 3 shots total. So let's all right.
Shooter ready?
Yes.
Stand by. Beep.
Whoa.
202.
So that's a 202, and then here, let me grab camera.
Alpha Charlie. So, I mean, you hit someone there, they're still dead.
That's true, but you know, you could do those 2 are good. That one you do at a 0.5?
Yeah.
And
0.5.
That's
252.
Well, what was it?
It was a 202, so
202 and a 2. Okay. We'll mark those. We're gonna let Luke give it a try. All right, let me pull my shot timer up. All right, so you're doing a Mozambique.
Yep.
2 to the chest.
1 to the head.
1 to the head. Shooter understand course of fire.
Yep.
Shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by. Beep. That's a 195. And you got it in the head. Isn't it crazy how people shoot better with your guns than you shoot with your own gun?
That's pretty good.
So 1, 2 in the A square, 1 right in the A head. That's pretty good. Now, I'm going to fail to mention, I was standing a little too close to that muzzle brake, and I felt that in my teeth.
Yeah, I don't have any feelings left.
So we're going to give our man's Jenkins Fab here big shout out. He did build us this little target stand down on the bottom.
We'll cut in a little video of what it looks like. Just
I made it with hot glue.
Liquid metal hot glue.
But yeah, go check out the video where he's making it. Give him some love. All right, you ready?
Sir.
All right, Mozambique, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Understand course of fire?
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Beep. 261.
Dang, bruh.
Cranium.
Got them all. Nice shooting.
That's pretty good. All right, now we're going to do build drill. So that is 6 shots on the A zone as fast as you can. Do you understand the course of fire?
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Beep. 206. All in A zone.
Bro, this thing needs a suppressor on it. Oh my God.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not bad. Not bad. All right. Luke's going to give the build drill a try. So there's 6 dead center A zone. Shooter understand course of fire?
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Beep. 1.8.
One, two, three, 4, 5. I know there's a 6th one in there.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep. All right, 6 shots all in the A zone as fast as you can. Understand the course of fire?
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Beep. 213.
Okay, I see you.
I have one that I missed.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Uh,
5, 6.
One down there.
I mean, it's on the line.
It's on the line, but it's not cutting it. Like it's. Do we give it to him since he made us the target stand?
Hey, by soccer standards, that's still in bounds.
Good looks. Good looks.
I give it to him. I give it to him. All right, I think we wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'm not as good a shot as I thought, but you know.
Well, that's why we got this made.
That's it. We don't really compete. I mean, we compete friendly with each other, but really at the end of the day, you're competing against yourself, and that's all that matters. You come out here, you get better.
You show improvement. That's what matters.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video.
We'll do some more of this style of video on some of our other builds.
Yeah. Hopefully, we get good positive feedback, and we'll definitely make a lot more of them. I don't see why not. So, but that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.